Francis Ngannou has received advice from former UFC champion Demetrious Johnson to think about quitting mixed martial arts and focusing on his boxing career. Following an outstanding victory over Tyson Fury, Ngannou has gained the interest of the combat sports community. In a recent video, Johnson spoke about Francis's future. Here is what he said. Francis won that fight and he looked absolutely amazing. What's next for Francis? I don't think I want to see Francis do mixed martial arts. I know that might be hard to hear, but I don't see why PFL cannot do boxing. Why don't PFL do boxing? You have one of the biggest stars in boxing right now, Francis, who just beat the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. I want to see Francis box. I don't want to see him do mixed martial arts. We've seen him do mixed martial arts. He's beaten the best of the world there. He's been a world champion. There's nothing left for him to do in that sport. I want to see him do boxing. He's gonna make big money in boxing. He could fight Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder. The gates have just opened up. Even though Francis has the last say in the matter, fight fans all around the world are definitely excited about the possibility of seeing him take against fighters like Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. The combat sports community is excited to see what Francis will do next while the discussion about his future rages on. Former UFC double champion Henry Cejudo has offered his thoughts on what Jiri Prochazka should concentrate on to win in the octagon against Alex Pereira. Using his YouTube channel, Cejudo discussed Prochazka's advantages and weaknesses. He highlighted the importance of defense, especially in two very important areas. Here is what he said. The technique. As good as you are with everything, there's one area where I feel like you really need to get better at. Two areas. Your defense, with your hands. I don't like seeing you get hit because that may cost you against a guy like Alex Pereira. Then the other thing, too, is your takedown defense. Your takedown defense is still a little suspect. If there's an area where I feel like he really needs to get better, it's technique. Particularly his defense. And the other thing is his takedown defense. The UFC 295 fight between Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira is anticipated to be a major event in the mixed martial arts community. Fans of the fighting game can expect an exciting battle of skills and strategy, as these two warriors compete for the crown. Another interesting turn has been added to the continuing story of Nate Diaz and Jake Paul's possible MMA match. This time, it's Don Davis, the PFL's founder. He is making a statement and accusing Diaz of backing out of the much-anticipated fight. Don Davis blasted Nate Diaz for ducking Jake Paul in an MMA rematch. Here is what he said. If we could ever put together Jake versus Nate, if Nate would stop weaseling out and complaining about that MMA fight with Jake. Something like that to put the mind of Jake Paul creatively, against the technology available. Wow! It's not just the spectacle of the circle. I respect Nate, he's a man. He said I'll do it in the PFL smart cage. And now he's hiding behind a rock. 10 to 15 million, biggest payday of his life. He gets beat by Jake, and now he's hiding behind a rock. Despite his image as a fierce warrior who never backs down from a battle, Nate Diaz is hesitant to enter a cage with Jake Paul in another organization other than the UFC. It will take time to see whether Diaz will be drawn to Jake Paul's matchup by the alluring payoff. Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury faced off in a historic boxing bout that had viewers on the edge of their seats. It was a much-anticipated matchup between two of the greatest names in combat sports. Recently, Jon Jones responded to a fan inquiring about his thoughts on Ngannou's performance. Here is his tweet. I thought he did great. I'm glad the fight was competitive. Opens so many doors for everyone in the future. Despite Jon Jones' complimentary comment on Francis's performance, some fans took issue with his tweet and responded with remarks like, competitive? He won, something you could never do against Fury in boxing. It seems that there will always be verbal sparring between fans of Jones and Francis, as they vie for the title of the baddest man on the planet. Thanks for watching. If you're a fan of MMA, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you never miss an update. Also leave a comment below with your thoughts on today's news. Keep supporting the sport, and we'll see you in the next one.